Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Awesomenauts Rumble Gathers. We are now on our third set of the day. It is going to be Wonderlag versus the terribly named team. It's going to be an interesting matchup. It's two teams that again we've seen before here in Gathers. Terribly named team was actually your third place winner of last month, so it should be a good match. Going with me today is once again Pyro Cheese. Hang in there, my good sir.
I'm doing just fine. Continuing here with the cast of the June Gathers tournament. So fun time so far, and we're ready to cast another match. Best of 3.
Definitely. I want to remind everyone we are doing our giveaway system. Type who you think is going to win into the chat. You have until the match begins to get your guesses in. Guess correctly to be eligible for a giveaway after the match. All you gotta do is just type red or blue. That's all you gotta do. It's really easy peasy, lemon peasy. Pyro, why don't you take us through this strat, my good sir?
Sure. On the red side, we're gonna have ban knots of Vinny and Deadlift, and pick knots of Genji, Swiggins, and Raylan. While on the blue team, we're gonna have a Ted and Chucho ban. While they're going to be picking up Penny, Ix, and Scoop. So with that, I think it's going to be a lot of CC and control coming out from both sides. A lot of it trying to restrict movement, things like that. Both Swiggins and Scoop going to be able to, from range, lock down people, at least for a short amount of time. As well as Genji going to be able to possibly cancel some abilities. You know, I do foresee the Ix being kind of an issue for the other team, I would say. Because while he can be shut down for a short time with Cocoon, you know, it's difficult to follow up on that because he does have both of his abilities give him the ability to negate a lot of damage, as well as just simply freely break out or banker drop. So we'll see how that goes around. As well as this is going to be on Sorona, which I did not point out, but it's going to be a very, very open map, you know, with no ceiling effectively anyway. There is a ceiling technically, but that's a different subject. What that means though is that there's going to be a lot of mobility. So Ix, who can, you know, effectively fly, is going to be really, really mobile and going to be difficult to pin down. As well as Penny having multiple jumps is going to be difficult to actually get a lock on her, and she's going to be able to come out from various angles, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be tough for a red team to deal with. When it comes down to like who would benefit more from the situation, I would give it to blue team in this situation, I would say, just based on comp alone and map comp and things like that. Blue team does have that advantage. I would say red team does have a little bit of answers to that, but I don't think it's getting. Frankly speaking, I think the advantage is in blue team. What do you think about that?
I definitely would say that you know, blue team 100% has the early game comp. That's not without any question. The red team comp, I think if they manage to make it to the very, very late game, it's going to be a bit better. The Genji is probably going to have a lot of trouble dealing with that pity, dealing with that refract, but he can make that comp happen. They just have to be careful, and they need to not overextend in the early game. That's going to be important. If the blue team gets an early lead, then this match is already over before it begins, basically. But I think Penny and Genji are the two strongest knots in the game, and I think Penny is just a little bit better than Genji, to be perfectly honest. Not to mention, you know, terribly named team. They got both Jas and YOLO, who are both extraordinarily well known for their team. So that's also something to consider. You know, you have an S tier not right now that's also not just a good pick draft-wise, but also an extreme comfort. For a terribly named team, it's going to be something that you really gotta watch out for. I have to say it's going to be in favor of the blue team. The red team can win this. You know, you got rifts into cocoons, things like that, but they have to. It's going to take so long for the comp to even get going, and even then, that's just going to kind of really put them on the level of the blue, not necessarily get ahead of. So, yeah, my vote's on blue.
All right, and with that, did you mention the bet system? Speaking of betting on blue.
Oh yeah, I did because I could tell because that's in the chat.
Yes, I do see that coming out right there. I don't know, I just want to, you know, one of those trigger words almost like, oh man, there's bets happening in chat. Anyway. Bet?
What?
Oh man. Any case, you ready to get started with this?
Let's do it, sir. And I did the same thing as last time. I forgot to turn off the blue icon from the previous match. Wait. I don't need to use sneaky little devil. Alright, let's go at 3, 2, 1. And the teams are off. On the red side of things, you got your Laggy Daddy playing the Genji. You got Sauce playing the Swiggins, and White Kittish playing the Raylan. On the blue side of things, you got Jazz123C playing the Penny. You got YOLO playing the Scuba Justice, and Triggerfinger playing the X. And they are off to the races, and you know, it's Serona. It's gonna be a couple seconds before they take that mid there. What team is gonna predominantly be holding mid, you think?
I do see that blue team would be holding mid a little bit easier than the red team. Just because, like I said, they have a little bit more mobility, and so it's actually a bit easier for them to get in there and get out while still maintaining map control overall. So, especially with that kind of a move right there, it's going to be a nice swap right there, leading into a hammer right there, but not going to be too much more coming out from that. Trigger is going to be going back to pick up some health a little bit from there. But yeah, I would say when it comes to the early game, blue team does have the advantage, like you were saying, and I do want to point out some items that are going to be coming out with that. One of them is going to be blind from Raylan, which is can be annoying to say the very least, but it is quite effective, especially for knots like these that are effectively close range. I mean, they're all going to be basically melee knots. Scoop does have that range ability with his hammer, as well as Trigo, and the Ix has that swap ability. But other than that, they need to be getting up close and personal. And on a wide open map like this, where they need to be a bit more mobile, blind can actually go a long way as far as like helping out jukes, or like even in a team fight, just actually getting in there and getting out with that blind and just preventing any kind of like real momentum to be gathering during that team fight. That being said, it's going to be just a bunch of fussy knots right now, nothing too much, nothing too major. Only with that one swap, a Genji Cocoon here and there, but nothing actually too decisive, I would say, as far as like, you know, what's deciding the team fight. And as I say that, of course, there's going to be an initiation right there, where there's going to be a double kill right there in favor of the blue team. Both the Genji and the Raylan going to be going down, leaving Swiggins to defend alone. There's going to be a little bit of push on top. Penny going to be just picking up some health from the other side just before she goes back and helps that right there. They did just land. They're going to be getting a lot of push. Fortunately, not seeing the health update. Oh, there we go. So it's about a third of the top turret down in that case, and it's from double kill early game. You know, less than 3 minutes in and double kill as a first blood. I think that's a pretty good start for the blue team right there. But when it comes to this, I would say that the blue team definitely has the brawling comp. I would say, is that an agreeable stance?
Yeah, not controversial in the slightest. That Raylan ain't about to just turn things around. I'll say that much.
I was like, I said that and I'm like, am I being crazy right there? I just wanted to double check. You know, it's been a weird day. English has been a difficult language for both of us, so just want to see if like I still understand what I'm understanding with this.
Yep. Okay, well, Yellow does get picked off there, but even then, it took like the freaking everything in the world. It took Armageddon to take him out there, and that's gonna leave Trigger and Jazz left alone to defend. Yellow gonna go ahead and pick up that Holy Cup, getting that walking hill bot. Thing needs a nerf, I'm telling y'all. And on the other pickups we see, it's actually kind of interesting. We see a really early bug jars coming out from Jazz123C. He's got like a stage of Starstorm statue. He's got that bug jars, which is going to be increasing that pulse damage. They're holding him in right now, but they'll put a lot of numbers on the board. There's going to be a hammer coming out, but there's going to be a snipe. Triggerfinger's going to refract it. They're going to march their shorts down a little bit. Anchor dive coming out on the Trigger. He's going to go down 50% health. The anchor drop's going to be missed. There's the pulse. There's the Monarch Blessing, and then your Laggy Daddy and Yakutish going back to the turret. Going to get a snipe out. Not going to hit a thing. Sauce is going to get the anchor dive going on. Trigger going to swap him out, and it's going to be taking a lot of damage. His refract is on cooldown, and it is now just coming back, but he's at 400 HP. He's going to need to get out. And now we see the engagement coming out front between Yellow and Jazz. As Jazz gets secured, the hammer chases them out, and the red team is going to have to get behind and recuperate their HP. They're going to get those droids charged up at the bottom lane. The X-Spawn going to be topping off Yellow's health, and there's going to be Jazz getting the pulse drop assassination on the top turret to take out your Laggy Daddy. He was sitting behind there, very well played on the pulse from him. That pulse, that early bug jars upgrade really showing its value. We're going to see a swap coming out on Yakutish using the X-Spawn and body block by Yellow coming out onto that turret there. And Yakutish might actually be getting out of this. He's going to have to do some fancy jukes. Trigger's got so many jumps. He's actually managed to find the teleport there. And he's actually going to juke his way out versus an X roaming the skies. That's impressive, I'm not going to lie. And the boots also showing, you know, just how effective that can be on Raylan, because he goes so fast. Snipe coming out onto Jazz is going to chase him out as he gets out of just the bar. He's going to go ahead and head home, get his other stage of bug jars there. It's a 460 solar dump, but it's very powerful and very cost effective. Trigger gonna get hooked right there. There's gonna come the Binding's Theory, comes the Holy Cup, there's a Swap, there's a Snipe, there's a Monarch Blessing, lots of damage coming out, Pulse on the Yakutish, there's an Anchor Dive coming out on the Trigger and Jazz 123C. Hammer coming out, it's gonna miss the jump out rotation. Yakutish now gonna go up. Trigger gonna take the creeps on the red side of the jungle, and now the red team is left of in. Your Lucky Daddy going in and see if he can find a Cocoon. He gets swapped immediately. Very nice timing coming out from Triggerfinger there. Very precise. Good game mechanics. And now Trigger going in, seeing what else he can do. There's Snipe going to come out onto yellow there, going to blind him. That blind is going to be really annoying. There's the Anchor Dive coming out. There's going to be a swap on Triggerfinger. He does not get swapped limited damage. He doesn't want to die. Binding's coming out. The Holy Cup doing its work. Charger's getting picked up. Jazz and Trigger both taking a lot of damage. They're going to have to head out, at least consume some creeps. And yellow teleporting home as well. That's going to give red team mid a position to catch their breath and possibly, take, turn this kill lead around just a little bit. What can the red team do right now to just completely secure a kill? Like, what are their kill conditions? Is a Cocoon enough? Because I don't know if a Cocoon is enough.
I don't think a Cocoon is enough, honestly. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of escape mechanisms either from Ix or from the other guys, and a lot of support from either one. Like I said, an Ix, even if there's a Cocoon right there, if you can land a gaze on one of his Cocoon teammates as soon as they get out, that's another couple of seconds of invulnerability, depending on where he goes. That could be a free escape as well. So I mean, it'll be tough to kind of see exactly, because even with the Swiggin's Anchor Drop, sometimes that's a kill condition right there. Although a nice Cocoon Rift like that, or at least an attempt right there, could be nice. It's gonna be, you have to wait a second, because there's gonna be a team fight going on right there, and eventually almost gonna be a wipe right there actually. Penny looking for that cheeky pick off right there through the ceiling right there, not going to be able to find it. It is going to be a 1-for-0 trade, pretty clean as well. Both the remaining members of the red team going to be forced to go back, and it's probably going to be their bottom going down right there. Yeah, really just going to be teleporting back, just letting that fall. What I wanted to point out though was that Genji is focusing on exclusively on auto attack right now, going range damage, and I believe that's attack speed that he just picked up right there. Yeah, so what do you think about those pickups right there in this situation?
I think it's kind of the standard meta, so to speak, to get those damage upgrades first thing on Genji nowadays. Like, that's kind of I guess the default mentality that you see in a lot of competitive players. So I don't know if that's particularly what he should be getting right now. I would really like to see things like Jaryax and Blessing shenanigans happen, because I want to very nice pickup coming out on Triggerfinger, and while that happens, Jazz 123C is actually going to disconnect. So kind of the real state here that they're not going to be able to push, because each team needs to stall a bit, which I don't think they were going to push off that kill anyways. That kill was going to happen regardless of the disconnect, so that's okay. And now Penny is back in lane. It was a very just quick internet cutout. Managing to buy now his pulse upgrades before he gets pulse. I like how that happens. And red team is way far behind, not even clearing, so they're good to go back in lane. I hope they know. Anyways, now they're off, everyone's back, and we see Holy Cup and the Milk of Righteousness being picked up by Scoot. So that's going to not only increase the amount that he self-heals somebody needs, but how much he heals his teammates too. That's really powerful. It's going to be dealing a lot. I was saying earlier, I want to see the Heal and Blessing come out, the other mobile, uncounterable heal bot in this game. And a bunch of damage coming out there on these fights as they chase down each other, but Blessing and Holy, nice pulse assassination coming off that rotation there, finding them off the shield, clean pickup once again using the drop pulse from Penny, now that's gonna give them the chance to clean up some droids and hopefully take out that top turret, which looks like Triggerfinger is there to do. He manages to find the rift, the Yakutish does, and Sauce goes in and gets an anchor dive, but here comes the bindings, keeping his team healthy. Like, you wouldn't even be able to tell that, Scoop had just taken a pulse to, an anchor dive to his face when you look at his health bar there. The Holy Cup just does so much work, and that pulse just deals so much damage. Again, this is the second time we've seen a comp like this today, where you have pulse and Holy Cup just winning the team fights, where you have a third utility knot. Like last time it was Hollow Screen, now it's Trigger's Ix, just doing some mechanical jankiness to kind of help and be annoying, while Holy Cup and Pulse are auto win buttons in these fights. It does so much. Anchor drop going to come out on Penny there. You're likely to take a lot of damage. Should be going down there. The auto attack of Ix going to be the last hit. But they're taking a lot of damage. Good swap coming out from Trigger there. And that's actually going to save his life. And now and Sauce and Raylan can no longer commit because otherwise they get double killed by Penny, and they're gonna be just defending this bottom turret or this back turret here. I mean, it's Raylan on Serona, and the back turret's already again taken out. Now it's at like the 10-minute mark. That's actually pretty significant. There's gonna be the Holy Cup allowing that push to continue. It's going down to 50% there. Genji gonna come in off, see if he can find a cocoon and clear that out. That top bottom back turret at like is just a bar and a half. And I mean, this is what we were talking about. How that's gonna have to wait a cocoon right here, but Sauce gets the anchor dive. That should be a kill, and they manage to find it before the Binance comes off. Yakutish looking to see if he can find a sniper and rift off that jump pad, but the chest is where it gets out. It's gonna be a 2v3 for them. I don't know if they'll press the fight here because they do have a significant solar advantage, so that they can probably afford to do so. We're gonna have to see how that goes. They're definitely being a little bit cheeky, not necessarily taking any initiations yet, but kind of stalling a bit, not going to do anything too big. Trigger getting initiated on there. There's going to be the anchor dive. Miss anchor hook, and he's going to refract through the snipe that would otherwise killed him if he had been forced to refract out of the rift or anchored hook, which he didn't because it missed. That would have been a frag from the snipe. But for now, we're going to see a double kill happen. Yakutish, you're lucky daddy, just taking a bad team fight. And there's going to be the hammer. That's going to take him out. This is probably going to be a good game. There's going to be the pulse, or excuse me, the pounce to assassinate him. Each member of the blue team getting a kill for the final wipe. That's cute. And now they're going to go ahead and take out that base. This is more than likely game. I can't see anything the blue team can do, the red team can do to come back from this. I was like waiting for that team fight to end, so I'd be like, what does the red team need to do differently? And I guess that's kind of a redundant question.
And for the sake of argument, what does the red team need to do in this situation to win?
Go back in time.
You know what? I would agree in that situation because it is going to be right here ending, unfortunately, in favor of the blue team pretty decisively overall, honestly. It was a pretty short game, just shy of 12 minutes. 10 kills in favor of the blue team to the red team's 3. And yeah, that was a pretty down performance. I do have to give credit to the scoop as well. I was kind of chuckling to myself. I don't know if anyone caught that, but I was chuckling just because in the I am bot category, when Scoop finally died, he went and just got the rest of his I'm not dying anymore build, basically getting the second stage of what is that, Milk of Righteousness, and then pills, and then barrier mags. He already had Snow Shovel and the Holy Cup. So I mean, he was just gonna tank everything. It didn't matter what the blue team threw at him. He was just gonna be able to heal it up and heal his teammates with that as well. So with that though, how do you think things played out, and what do you think of the red team potentially could have done differently to do this?
Quit letting people get Penny Scoop. That's like the biggest thing they could have done differently. Don't pick Swiggins versus X, because X just like doesn't really care if he gets hooked at all. Those are a couple of the different things. Honestly, this match was decided 100% at drafts. Yeah, it was a quick win, but I think red team played well, all things considered. I mean, they were hitting their abilities, but you just don't win this matchup. You just don't, and you only have a chance once Genji is like 2,000 solar in, and even then, like, it's still on even terms. That's assuming that no snowball has happened, which a snowball is exactly what happened, and so they won in 11 minutes. And really and truly, I think it came down to the draft. I think Scoop and Penny are such important picks. Like the top 3 knots right now are definitely Genji, in my opinion. I think Scoop, he's not there on the damage front, but he is there just that mobile hillbot, the Holy Cup that's keeping him really, really revenant. He's gonna put decent damage and a bunch of other utility hammers. Powerful tool, but it's that Holy Cup right now that's keeping them running. And I think that's just too much to deal with, both Pulse and Holy Cup in a team fight. But yeah, we're gonna take a short break. This is best of 3. Please don't go anywhere. Set up the second match, my friend. Looks like the general voice chat me. my god, there's a guy that's like, hey, when is it gonna be casted? And he thinks like we just cast literally all.